PA Empowerment Network is a game changer, uniting individuals with shared goals to support and uplift each other, providing resources, mentorship, and a sense of community. Empowering people means giving them the tools and confidence to thrive and create positive change in their lives and communities.
Hi, welcome to Mental Health Mondays. My name is Hope, and I am very, very grateful to be bringing this podcast to you. This is the inaugural podcast today, and we will be on every Monday for Mental Health Mondays. It's something that's been in the making for a while now, and I'm excited to be working with Kendall and the PA Empowerment Network to bring this podcast to you. And if you have not subscribed yet, please go to the PA Empowerment Network YouTube page and go ahead and subscribe. And also for Mental Health Mondays, I do have a Facebook page. It's pretty simple, Mental Health Mondays with Hope. We're going to be taking this time to talk about a variety of topics related to mental health that are very relevant to today. So for our first episode, we're coming in hot, and we decided to dive right in. My guest today, her name is Emily Henning, and Emily is in recovery. She's a recovering drug addict. And Emily, how long have you been clean now?
26 months.
26 months. That's excellent. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to start the habit of starting my shows off with a positive affirmation. I had put on my mirror in lipstick the words "I am," and I wrote that on my mirror, so that way every morning when I got up and I looked in the mirror, I would say, "I am
Strength.
Is that yours? I am strength.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. I love it. Eventually after seeing it on the mirror for so long, my son put Iron Man underneath it.
Right.
I am Iron Man.
Okay.
But it makes sense because what's the periodical table abbreviation for iron? Fe.
Mm-hmm.
And man is male.
Yep.
So FEMALE.
Female.
So yeah, have you ever seen Iron Man and I in the same room at the same time?
I've wondered that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about Emily. Who is Emily?
Well, Emily is a mother of two beautiful boys. Not young anymore, but they're my babies. I am a daughter. Yeah, they are. I'm a daughter of the most amazing mother. I am a sister of 6 crazy and wonderful siblings. And a best friend to 2 great people. Can't say names, but I can say nicknames.
Right.
Trinity and Sugar Plum. They walk me through life too.
Excellent. And you are a dog mom.
Oh yes, a dog mom and a cat mom.
And a cat mom.
Can't forget them.
Yes.
Little
Excellent.
brats.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's talk, let's dive right in. Let's talk about addiction. Oh, and you know what? Actually, I have to, full disclosure, I have to let everyone know that Emily is my sibling. I am the second oldest in the family, and she is the second youngest by 11 minutes. She does have a womb mate,
Yes.
who is 11 minutes the baby.
Yes.
So as we talk about, addiction today, it's something that I've actually, been on the same ride.
Yes. She has been on the ride with me.
Been on the ride.
Long ride.
So we're going to get a little
ride.
uncomfortable today.
Yeah.
We're going to get a little uncomfortable.
Probably.
Okay. All right.
Good.
So, let's talk about just drug use.
It started young
Yeah.
for fun. And I liked it.
Okay.
And as you get older, whatever, things happen. But yeah, it started young.
Okay.
Young. 16,
16.
17,
All right.
somewhere around there. Just for funsies, though.
Sure.
Then.
So let's talk about the Emily that you don't typically talk about at parties.
Which one?
What's your life experiences?
What kind?
Like, so, when we're talking about mental health today. So what are some things that have happened in your past that, maybe have affected your mental health?
I lost dear people to death, very close people. T, I can mention him because he's not here anymore. T, I lost T. That started in 2012 with death, and then my drugs just got worse throughout the years. And then another close friend of mine in 2015 passed away from suicide. Nikki. The meth got a little worse in 2015. And then in 2019 is when I lost my brother, Jeremy Bender.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I took a turn for the worst. And y'all know him, like my brother Bender.
Yep, brother Bender. And I think, and I apologize because I didn't recognize that the anniversary of his death just passed.
May 16th.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
that. The drug use continued to just spiral out of control in 2019 when I lost my other half, so to speak.
Right.
And then it just spiraled. I don't know. I can't. It didn't become. It wasn't a. I wasn't a functioning addict anymore. Because I did function with a job.
We talked about that. You were
yeah.
initially started as a functioning
drug
addict.
Yep. I would go to bed.
What does that mean?
I was normal.
Okay.
I would, get up, just do my line in the morning for breakfast, and then function throughout the day and go to sleep, start all over again. In 2019, I was no longer functioning. I was just whole and like empty.
Right.
Empty once I lost Jeremy.
Right.
And then it just spiraled. It just went out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I lost a lot more friends along the way that did not help it.
And when you say lost them, meaning they passed away, or
passed away
like
to
lost...
drug addiction,
okay, gotcha.
or more to suicide.
Okay.
Like a lot of them. So my drug addiction doesn't come because, whatever. I just mask the pain of death.
Yes.
With my drug addiction.
And we, pre-interview, we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me some of the other things from your younger life that, you say that you say didn't really have an effect, but I feel
I started dancing when I was 17.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that with dancing.
I like to dance, so I might as well get paid to do it.
Right. So when you say dancing, you mean, okay.
Yes, I was a stripper when I was 17.
And how did you get into that?
I started working at a regular nightclub when I was 17 with a friend of mine. And then that club shut down and they started dancing there once or twice a week. They started dancers there at that same club. And I just started.
Right.
I don't know. Just
who got you into it?
The owner. Papa. We call him Papa. Yeah.
Okay.
He got me into it because he was a not so normal person. Vindictive. I don't know the words for it. A pervert.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the words right now.
It's almost like when we've talked about this before, like he seduced you or influenced you into the life,
right? And thinking it's better than what it was,
right?
When it's not,
right? Because he was what for you?
He was an older role model type,
right? It's almost like a father figure,
right. Yeah, almost like a father.
All
figure,
right. So, tell us about like your own father experience. What do you call him?
Sperm donor.
Yes.
He's just the sperm donor.
We all do.
He molested me when I was young. So the day he passed away was a very happy one.
Right.
So, yeah.
And unfortunately, that wasn't your only experience with sexual abuse.
No. And then when I was 16, I was raped also, on top of being molested when you're a baby. Young child. Right. Should I say, age.
So I know that you say that it's the deaths that led to you becoming an addict, but really there's a lot in your past.
Right.
That could.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Sure. So when we talk about death, we talk about not necessarily just the physical death of people, your death of your innocence.
Right.
Death of,
Pretty much, yeah. The death of my, I'm still, you would think, even though I'm 48 years old, soon to be 49. But sometimes
you don't have to share your age. You're
I
lady.
will, because I look good. But sometimes my brain is still 16.
Sure, absolutely.
Because yes, I have gone to therapy for the sexual abuse. Still unresolved.
Yeah.
But the death, no, I don't go to therapy for that because.
Okay. Very good. All right. We're going to come back and keep talking about this, but right now we're going to take a quick commercial break for one of our network.
Guys, it's Chantel Davis here from Willie Mae's Place and Legacy Vines Winery. So today is our bottling day. Wish us luck. We are very excited. Hopefully things go smoothly, so we'll keep you posted on all of that. We will be open for lunch this week from 12 to 4. Chef Savannah is super excited to serve you guys up some really yummy, delicious food. We are going to post the updated lunch specials menu shortly later on today, so stay tuned for that. And again, wish us luck. Okay, we're gonna see how this bottling goes, and hopefully we can have some really yummy wine samples available for you guys, if not this week, then next week. And we plan on doing some really cool food and wine pairings as well, so stay tuned. Continue to like, follow, give us any cool food and wine pairing suggestions that you may have. We are doing a sweet Cayuga white, a sweet Concord red, a dry Pinot Gris, and a dry Cab Franc. So if you guys have some ideas or suggestions on what type of Southern comfort food or seafood you would like to see paired with those wine varieties, give us a shot. We love to come up with different things. Chef Savannah and Chef Dave are really great about that. So, our restaurant is your restaurant. Let us know what you'd like to see. And again, wish us luck. Bye, guys.
Okay, so we're back. This is Mental Health Mondays. I am your host. My name is Hope. Mental Health Mondays with Hope. Makes sense, right? And this is my guest today for our inaugural podcast. This is Emily Henning, and she is a recovering drug addict, and we're kind of doing a deep dive, getting a little uncomfortable. And, hopefully some of the things that she says today will resonate. With people.
Can help somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before the break, we were talking about death. And
Don't like it.
I know. And, and you had just said your age and that you're about to be 49. Your birthday is this coming week.
Right.
Or is this week.
Yes, it is.
When we were talking about the death of your friends, sometimes, that I lost my best friend.
Yeah.
And, you think of your own mortality. And you're with your birthday coming up. Was there ever a time during your addiction that you thought maybe you wouldn't see your next birthday?
All the time. I actually, when I was 40, I never thought I'd see 40, and I wasn't even in full addiction yet. I mean, I was always an addict, but I wasn't even full meth addiction yet.
Right.
I was, pills or whatever. But right, 40, my first anxiety attack. I really thought I was dying. Like, this is it. I'm 40.
Right.
I'm gonna die. Stop doing whatever you're doing. And it had nothing to do with drugs yet. So yeah, every year before 2019 on my birthday, I would always be like, wow, I'm never gonna make it. Now Jeremy Bent, my brother, died on May 16th.
Right before your birthday.
We buried him. We had the funeral on my birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As a birthday present to me.
Okay.
Yes, I did it because I helped plan it with his wife, at that time wife. I helped plan that funeral for me to take one last shot with my brother.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's why I did that. So now my birthdays are a little bit different.
Right.
Bittersweet, but that's a good memory that I'm always going to carry with me with my brother.
Yeah.
One last shot, tapped it on his hand, and the funeral home with Jack Daniels, and I don't like that crap. But Jack Daniels, and that was, so now my birthdays mean a little bit more.
Okay.
Especially now that I'm clean.
Right.
Now my brother is going, hey, look at this girl.
Right.
Look at her go.
Cool.
So yes, and he knew I was, doing the drugs and stuff. Didn't like it.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
Nobody's gonna tell me to stop because I'm an adult.
Sure.
How many times is my family?
Well, that's it. And
and
we'll definitely get to talk about, being clean and staying clean. But let's continue, like you had just said, with family. Again, full disclosure, Emily is my sister.
Yeah.
And one of my baby sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there with the rest of our
all of them
siblings, or
and
5
mom.
siblings, and mom.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times that I didn't think you would make it to your birthday.
Right.
And
because I was old enough to not listen.
Right.
I wasn't going to do it. And,
right.
But then, you know, I remember my mom always knew. Mom always knew. I never hid it from
Right.
active. I scream my addiction. I scream my recovery. So I always said, like, towards the end, I was saying to Mom, like, Mom, just tell me you're disappointed in me for this.
Right. And she couldn't do it.
She couldn't do it, or I would have stopped. And I'm not putting it on my mom's
No, I know.
shoulders.
I get it.
But I was just waiting. Somebody say you're
Right.
disappointed. Like,
But
my sister could, my brothers could. It just had to come from
Mom.
Queen Bee.
No, you're right.
Like,
You're right.
it had to come from my mother.
And I can see her point that she would
can't
not
be disappointed in
right.
any of us. You
Right.
know, so you
Right.
know, like.
And you know, and I wish I would have actually known that, because I would have had a conversation with her to where she could say, I'm disappointed in the behavior.
Right.
I'm not disappointed in you. I'm
Right,
disappointed
right.
in the behavior.
I wanted her to be disappointed in me, though,
Okay. All right.
because that would have
That's
done
fair.
something.
That's fair.
You know, just because she was never disappointed in any
Right,
of her children.
right.
I mean, and
To this day.
to this day, and I am no angel.
Right.
I am no angel out of all 7 of you guys. No, I'm taking the cake.
Yeah.
So, but I also take the cake too now, March 1st every year.
That's right. March 1st every year. I always could tell when you were using, because you disappeared.
Yep.
You know, like for me, I don't know if you did for everybody, but I know you always saw Mom. But
I stay away from all
you
my
disappeared.
siblings.
You know, and I knew that you were using. And there was a few times when I was disappointed in some of your actions.
Your birthday party.
And and you just got, you know, very angry with me, you know, kind of told me that, you know, pound sand, not those words.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I
didn't go
too
anywhere.
Mean. I don't think I was ever too mean about it.
It was
but I
more
would just
like,
pull
you know,
back.
right. Like, you know, I don't need this family sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it personal, because I knew it was the addiction.
No.
So what advice would you have for families when their loved one is in the place where you were?
Don't do the hard love. Don't do that. You can, but just don't push that child away.
Right.
You know,
And when you say push him away, you mean like kick him out?
Right. Just keep pressing it. It depends on, I mean, like, they have to do it for themselves. Obviously, you can't do it.
Right.
Just always be there when that person shows up out of nowhere.
Right.
Or whatever, needs to talk, gives you a phone call.
What about giving them money?
No.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it. Because, I mean, I'm being honest, I never paid for my drugs. I worked in a really bad industry.
Right.
So, well, whatever.
Right.
So I never had to, but I feel bad for the ones that can't just afford it.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, but I wouldn't. No, don't give them money, because you know it's enabling that.
And
you know,
and even if it doesn't go to the drugs,
right.
they use their money for the drugs. So they might need to pay a phone bill because they use their phone bill money for drugs.
Yeah.
It's
just a Peter, Rob, and Paul all the time. It's just a ripple effect with that.
And I'm not fishing for compliments when I ask this, but you know, there were definitely times during your addiction that I really truly feel that you hated me, which I don't think you did, but like it was bad, you know, like that relationship. And I stuck around, you know, I've never, no one in our family would ever abandon you. How has that affected our relationship today?
What that you
that I, you know, that, I mean, not just me, but all of our siblings. Yeah. So how does that affect your our relationship?
I love it. I can't get enough of being around my family now. I'm still reserved because I do still have issues that I need to work out in my head. I'm very introvert now.
Yes, right.
I was very social when I was doing drugs.
Well, sure.
Now I have bad anxiety and bad depression, and you guys all know all that. So if I don't pick up the phone, it's not because I don't like you. It's not because I'm getting high. I refuse that. Relapse is not in my vocabulary.
Right.
But it's because I just can't.
Right.
Because I get in my head, like, and it has nothing to do with any one specific thing, reason, person, or anything.
Right.
I just get in my own little head.
Sure.
And just like to I guess because I was so social when I was high, I was doing this, I was out there doing that,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Now I'm just like, no, I don't like people.
Right.
You know, like I don't want to talk on the phone. I don't want to do this, you know, like, so.
So we are ready for another commercial. Awesome. I love that we have sponsors for the network. So if that's something that you're interested in, you know, we would love to have more sponsors for our programming. And don't forget to subscribe to the PA Empowerment Network. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. This is Mental Health Mondays. I am your host. My name is Hope. And our guest today is Emily Henning. We're talking about her recovery with drug addiction. So we've talked about it. And the reason I asked that question before the break is, how is our relationship now versus, because I did give you some of that tough love. It wasn't you're out of my life. It was, I don't like this, what you're doing. Right. So the reason I brought that,
I don't know why anybody would like it.
But the reason I brought that question up is because, again, prior to that, I said, what advice do you have for families? So as you can see, we're talking to someone who was an addict, a meth addict. And, we didn't leave, but we weren't always nice. We weren't always nice.
Right. But neither was I. So,
and, when the addiction was over and the recovery began, she recognized that, family was there.
My twin sister picked me up.
Yeah. So we just want to, we want families that might be going through this, to think about that a little bit. And please, I'm asking if you please, share this link on your Facebook page, on your social media, because you never know who might benefit from the topics that we discuss here. So let's talk about you getting clean. So there was a precursor. So what happened? You got a DUI.
A DUI. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened?
I got pulled over.
And then
bad inspection. The long story short is I got a DUI. Yeah.
Okay. And then you went to jail?
They warrant.
Oh, you had a warrant for something else.
Yeah, they picked me up. I spent the weekend in jail. What was the warrant for? I think it was. I didn't show up for court for that.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. But then, you have to go to probation. I only got 6 months probation for DUI. Didn't lose a license or anything like that.
So what were the conditions of you leaving jail that weekend, after the weekend? You were on probation for 6 months.
No, I had to go to court yet. So for the DUI yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell your story.
Yeah. I had to go to court yet for the DUI yet. That's why. So I had to warrant because I never showed up for any court dates for the DUI.
Gotcha.
So then I show up for the court date, blah, blah, blah. 6 months probation, no loss of license or anything like that. Yada, yada. Probation. Stay clean.
All right. And so you had to test.
Right.
How often?
Once a month. I think I was only on probation for about a month.
Okay.
It took me coming in there hot.
Yeah. So when we talked about it, you said that, after you got out of jail, you had every intention initially to clean up your act.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Which time? This time? Or the 90 days that I stayed in, or the weekend?
The weekend.
Oh, heck. It didn't happen.
Why?
Because I wasn't ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
I was no. Still don't like myself too much.
Okay.
I wanted to spiral a little bit more out of control to where that's about it.
And I think that's something that's really important because we talk about this with everything. We talk about like with quitting smoking and maybe eating healthier and things like that. As much as we can say that this is for the betterment of your health and your life, it's like the Charlie Brown teacher.
And the situation when I stayed in that weekend, the situation that I came back to, I wasn't gonna get out
Right.
of it.
And I feel that I actually that was the first time that I felt that I made an actual mistake through your because I put you on suicide watch.
No, actually, you did me a favor.
Well, no, I feel like it was a mistake because you were on suicide watch. You had a nice little private cell to yourself,
just
and
catching up on some sleep I didn't have. from
right,
doing meth and
right.
staying up
So
for days.
I'm not sure if that was the right thing.
No, the
I
situation that I
felt
came
it was
back
the
to,
right thing
it was,
because at the moment
because
I did have that
when
concern.
when I got picked up for that weekend, I almost got into a fight instantly when
Yeah.
I walked into jail. So that was the best thing for me. But yeah, and the situation that I was coming back from, where I was moving in the house
Where
that
you
I was
live.
living at, yes, there was no way I was going to get clean.
Right.
So,
Now, I just have to, do a little recap. Well, not recap, but so the person that got you into dancing
was where I lived.
was who you referred to as Papa, who gave you away at your wedding,
Yes, my first wedding.
who you've always referred to as Papa, was the person that you were living with,
and
the person that enabled.
Let it go under his nose.
Yeah.
Let it all have the addiction happen. Well,
But not just
blind
you.
eye.
I mean,
Turn
there
a
were
blind eye.
lots
There
of
was
people that
then,
lived
yes,
there or in
few
and out.
people that were in and out of the house were all doing it. So when I came out of jail that weekend, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get clean.
Okay.
And I knew that being on probation and it was going to catch up to me, but I made it catch up to me.
Right. So tell everybody about how that went down.
Well, my probation officer was calling me. You have to be in here at this time. I don't have my truck. It's broken. Right. So I still Papa's car. Right.
Borrowed Papa's car.
Whatever. Yeah. Borrowed Papa's car. And rolled in hot in the Stroudsburg for my probation.
Now, when you say rolled in hot,
I rolled in hot, really
meaning?
hot. Meaning I parked the car.
Give us a visual.
I parked the car. I did a line on his thing. And I went into probation and the white powder was probably still around my nose.
Okay. And your probation officer says,
"What are you doing? You need to go and give me a urine sample.
Right.
And we have to do this correct." I'm like, "That's fine." So, I tried to pee because when you do a lot of meth, it's really hard for you to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did. I gave it to her. I don't know why she needed it because it was all over my face. But and she's like, we're going to take you. And I said, I know. So about 30 seconds, I freaked out on my probation officer, with the handcuffs on for about 30
freaked
seconds.
out why?
As I realized that I got cats. I got
right. Okay. So
I four-legged pets that I needed to take care of.
Okay.
So and then I calmed down. She's like, Emily, I'm like, you know what? Right. I thanked both my probation officer and the police for doing this because it was the only way it was ever going to happen for me to get clean.
Right.
Jail.
And your probation officer and the police officer said that's the first time
they were never
anyone ever
anybody.
came in,
the way I did,
totally high,
and then thanked you afterwards.
And then thanked them because you finally got to that point on your own.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know about it until afterwards.
Yep. And Papa was pretty mad.
Oh,
he come pick up his car.
Right. So the person that was supposed to be your adult male role model all these years
wouldn't even drive me.
He was out
with somebody
and got upset that you took his car to go get clean.
Very
Gotcha.
Mad. Yes, very mad that I took his car to go get clean.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't know. I mean, he did know after a while that I was gonna, but
so you've been clean 26 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about part of the why you got addicted. What's your why? What's your why for staying clean?
Me. And
I love that answer.
Me first.
Absolutely.
And then my kids.
Yeah. That's great.
And obviously my family, but my siblings and my mama.
Sure.
Because she is
absolutely.
She's not getting any younger.
No. She's still gorgeous because we look just like her.
And I'm the wild child. I've always been. And I could not put my mom through that.
Yeah.
My kids, no. I couldn't do that to them either.
Right.
But I don't know how much more time we have with her. So
sure.
I'm going to make it the best for
absolutely.
her by staying clean.
How's your relationship with the boys?
Oh, it's always been a really good relationship, but it's gotten better.
Good.
It's definitely gotten better because they have tried to search for what mommy was on and they could never find it because I never really had, you know, like I'm pretty careful with that. But yeah.
And I love your shirt. It says clean, winning, established March 1st, 2023. So that is the date that you started in jail and started detoxing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just go a little bit longer, and we're gonna talk real quick about what would your advice be for someone who is currently actively using drugs? Like, what would your advice be for them?
Just plan a day. If you have to plan a day or take some time, just do it. Just get it done somehow, some way. Contact somebody.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be on my Facebook. Contact me.
Sure.
Do anything, you know, just get it done. Because, you know, you have 3 choices in life. You get clean, go to jail, or you die.
Right.
You know, like the last one is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, one way, like contact, there's hotlines, I'm sure.
Right. Yes. And we do have the hotline. Thank you. 988 is our nationwide mental health crisis hotline. So clearly some of the topics we discuss on the show could be triggering.
Right.
Or could cause a trauma response. So, you know, we want to make sure that everyone takes care of their own mental health first.
Right.
And now, one of the things that we talked about is you get up every day and you say what?
This is the path I'm choosing today, the clean path.
Right.
And so many words, something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
say, I'm an addict.
I'm an addict and I choose to stay clean today.
Right.
My path is going to be clean.
And besides that being great advice for someone else in recovery, what type of advice do you
anything in the universe, your universe is going to give it back to you. So
Right.
I screamed my addiction. I scream my recovery even louder.
Right.
To the top of my lungs.
And you do in public.
Right? I tell everybody that wants to listen that I'm a recovering addict because I'm not embarrassed about it. There's no reason to be embarrassed about it. It's a disease. It's nothing more.
And I think that mental health issues and addiction issues, you know, are so hush-hushed and tabooed that, you know, that there's a stigma there. And I feel that the more people who speak out about it.
I screamed about my addiction doing it, doing the meth, doing the drugs. I never hit it. I didn't. Whatever, your opinion doesn't matter. Now I want somebody to hear me scream recovery.
Right.
Because if I scream it loud enough, maybe I can help a mom or a dad help their child.
Right.
Hey, this girl does not hide it.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people should, instead of being so quiet about it, then maybe less people would die from addiction.
Sure. And something else that you said, which I feel is a great tip for someone in recovery. You said that when you were using, you would start your morning. You would have a coffee. No, you're good.
Yeah.
You would have the coffee first and then a wine.
Yeah.
And then when you got out of jail, and the first thing you did was had a coffee.
Tea.
Well, before that,
I had a cup of coffee and
then
triggered
what happened?
me.
Triggered you.
So when I was in jail, I would drink tea. I didn't like the coffee. But then when I got home, I had a cup of coffee and my body just went into straight trauma trigger. I don't know, crazy.
Right.
So now I start my day when I'm feeling triggered or anything like that. I have to start my day with an actual cup of tea.
Right.
So now my tea is my line.
And and then your coffee.
And my
afterwards.
coffee. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's good. It's changing the muscle memory.
Yes, you have to change the muscle memory
in your thought process.
You also have to change the people, places, and things, everything that you do.
Yes.
Like I went back to my family.
Right. You can't stay in the same environment.
I stopped talking to everybody that I knew except for 2 people.
Right.
My 2 best friends.
Right.
Trinity, I could say her that name. And Sugar Plum. It's a nickname. And they know who I'm talking about. So those are the only 2 people that I kept as friends in my life.
Right.
That I used to do drugs with.
Yeah.
I don't talk to anybody else. And I changed locations.
Right.
You know, I moved away from areas that trigger me.
Right. So as we wrap up, what's in Emily's future? What's in store for Emily? Happiness. Yeah. I know we talked about this pre-interview and you were great. You're like everything.
Right. Everything, really. I mean, it's unstoppable. Today I opened my bank account. First time in 2 years.
First time since you're sober.
Clean. I know. It's
Excellent.
silly. A milestone, but
Excellent.
you know, I just did it today for whatever. I mean, I could have done it a while ago, but
Right.
Why not make it today?
Congrats.
Just the little things, the little
Congrats.
milestones. So yeah, little things. Maybe I'll find love again.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, that's it. That's iffy for everybody.
I'm not looking for it though. I'm looking just to stay clean and take
That's
care of my
good.
kid,
No,
take care of me.
absolutely.
It's all about me.
Priorities.
It's all about me.
Priorities.
Yeah, it's all about me.
Well, thank you so much for being so open
Mhm.
and sharing this little information about your life with everybody out here. Would love for you to come back at some point in time because there were definitely sidebar conversations we could have gone into.
Oh yeah, we can go into a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you again. I
Yes.
appreciate you being here. I appreciate her being my sister. And thank you to Kendall and the PA Empowerment Network for giving us our Mental Health Mondays with Hope. We will be back next week. And next week's guest, we're going to talk about music and mental health. I'm going to have recording artist Christine Rommel on the show. So join us next Monday. And don't forget to subscribe, share this with all your friends and family because you never know.
Subscribing
And-
is free, by the way.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, it's subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's no cost. Thank you. I appreciate that. And remember, we don't know what other people are going through out there. So let's always try to
smile.
be kind.
Always
Let's always
smile.
be kind.
Mhm.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.